Good morning everyone, let's talk about Lisa Eldridge's newest addition to her True Velvet lipsticks, a couple of new lip glosses and the foundation that she's going to be releasing, for which you can now already purchase samples to try out. The release featured a couple of new True Velvet lip colors. From all the colors that were released, I felt like only one really spoke to me on a deeper level, and that was the shade Cinnabar, which I'm going to test for you in a little bit. But Cinnabar is this gorgeous like brown, red, orange pumpkin color, very beautiful for fall. The rest of the colors looked a little bit too pink and not something that I gravitate towards. I am slightly tempted by Blush Lightly, which is like the lighter version of a lipstick that she released already last year, the shade Velvet Blush. I wanted to say a few things about how things work now in the European Union, because what Lisa did a couple of months ago is that apparently she now has a warehouse which serves the UK and the US, and she has a separate warehouse for us here in the European Union, so that we don't have to pay additional taxes and customs on the products that we purchase from her. I think we can all agree that in terms of warehouse, shipping and handling all of that, Lisa can give a workshop to Pat's team so that, you know, they can get their shit together in that aspect. But yeah, so I purchased the Cinnabar Velvet lipstick, and I did purchase also the corresponding lip gloss because I wanted to test both. I did also pick up one of her foundation sets. I picked up the Light 2 set. I'm going to demo everything for you. I don't want to waste too much time on this introduction because I think it's more interesting for you to see how the products perform. So with that said, yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. So let us try the foundation first. The foundation is called the Seamless Skin foundation. It fits into her Seamless Skin line, which now contains the blushes as well as the highlighter. And when I was ordering the lipstick and the gloss, she offered samples of like different sets for free, and from what I understand you can also purchase sets for €3. And the set that I purchased is the Light 2 set, which came with these 4 shades. It comes in this little compact packaging, and you can just pop the pills with the foundation samples out. And the shades that I have are 5, 6, 7 and 8. And I was trying to find it on the packaging, but unfortunately it's not there. However, if you go onto the website, you can see over here that there is a description with each of the shades, the undertones, and for instance, the set that I have contains light with neutral, light with golden, light with neutral, like a deeper one, and light with peach. So let's just try to guess which one would fit me the best. If I'm being honest, I feel like I could probably rock all of them except for this one, which seems a little bit too deep for me. That is the shade 8. That is the one with the peach undertones. I don't think I have peach undertones. I maybe have like neutral to light olive tones, and I think maybe this one will fit me the best. That is the shade Light 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how much I will need for one application. Okay, so be more careful than I was when I was popping out the pill. I was basically like trying to open it here over my brand new dress, and now I have a little foundation stain on my belt. It's fine. I've learned my lesson. I'm just going to take my little microfiber cloth, and I'm going to carefully open the foundation over top of that, because these are sealed pretty well, and the foundation is of course a little bit liquidy, so as soon as you start to open it, the liquid will go everywhere. So this is how the pill looks like when it is open. For your information, if you've never been on my channel before, I don't really use a primer. I basically rely on my skincare, foundation and powder to do the heavy lifting, and I have not really noticed that I really miss having a primer underneath my foundation. So I'm just going to do what I usually do, which is apply a little bit like this with my fingers. In order to buff the foundation out, I'm going to use my classic base brush from Sonia G. This is one of her Fusion series brushes, and I'm just going to work the foundation into my skin. I would call this light medium in terms of the coverage. I think you can maybe build it up, and maybe you can even sheer it more out, but just based on how it's buffing out, it is a light medium coverage. Wow, that buffed really beautifully, and it looks so beautiful on the skin. Okay, so I just wanted to show you for reference, I still have quite a bit of the peel left over, so I can absolutely do my makeup at least one more time with the sample that I have here. So really depending on your real estate and how much foundation you're used to using on your face, you will either run out of this very quickly, or you will potentially have use for at least like 2 times to test it out. Now, in terms of the finish of this foundation, this very much reminds me of the Dior Backstage foundation, in the sense that it is not matte, it is not dewy. Like for instance, the Estee Lauder DW Nude foundation is a more dewy foundation. You see a bit more glow on your face after you apply it. And it is also not a flat matte foundation, it is just a very natural finish on the skin, which is also what I believe Lisa describes the finish of this foundation as. Other than that, it buffed into the skin beautifully. It basically did the work for me. It looks flawless. I think it has blurred my skin, and I'm very curious to test it out throughout the rest of the day, because I'm actually going to have a pretty long day today. After work I have a little social gathering with some of my former colleagues, so I am going to test it out throughout the whole day, and I will continue filming tomorrow. I will unfortunately not have time to finish filming this video today, so I will come back tomorrow and I will tell you how I feel about it, and I will probably wear it one more time. And now let's move into the really exciting part. I'm going to test out the Velvet. I am going to first show you how the packaging looks like, in case you've never seen a Lisa Eldridge lipstick. They come in these beautiful boxes with like the little lips, and that's basically Lisa's logo. And the actual packaging of the True Velvets is just absolutely gorgeous. It is an ode and testament to like vintage makeup. They come in this gorgeous golden, like vintage feeling packaging with Lisa's logo again on top, and they are called velvets because they look like they are made out of velvet when you look at the bullet itself. Like the bullet itself have this like little layer around them, which makes them look a little bit like they're made of velvet. It is so gorgeous and so incredibly unique. So I haven't really tried the lipstick. I received it yesterday. I haven't even swatched it. Before I apply it though, I quickly wanted to read the description of Lisa's website, because I am curious how she describes this color. Inspired by the dense poisonous red mineral which has been used as precious resource around the world since at least the 10th millennium before Christ, during ancient rituals and rites of passage it came to denote blood, victory, success, and even immortality. In its various forms, including vermilion, it has been used as an artist's pigment, and it can be seen in the frescoes of ancient Rome. It was also used extensively as a cosmetic, most famously by Queen Elizabeth I, to create an intensely dramatic and powerful effect on the lips and cheeks. Velvet Cinnabar is the deepest, richest, most powerful burnt ochre warm brown red imaginable. Well, this sounds delightful, delicious, and I cannot wait to put it on my lips. Just FYI, if anyone was curious, on my eyes I'm wearing the Celestial Odyssey Mega Palette from Pat McGrath. And now, without further ado, let's just apply Velvet Cinnabar. I've already lined my lips, as you can see. Wow, what a glorious fall color. It is exactly what she describes it to be. It's like this burnt pumpkin orange red, but it leans more brown than it leans orange, and it just looks so incredibly stunning. I am in love with this color. These are my kind of tones. If Lisa can go ahead and make a velvet in like an actual like burnt deep orange color next year, I'd die. Just because I want to test how the gloss looks on top. It comes in a similar box, by the way, and if you've never seen her lip glosses, they come in this beautiful packaging, again with the lid reminiscent of the velvets. And I am curious how this is going to play up with the velvet. This is how the doe foot applicator looks like. I have another gloss from her, the shade of Fair, and I have to say that her doe foot is not exactly my favorite. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Oh, this is deeper. I'm just going to leave it in like this as a very light sheen. I don't want to mess with the gorgeous velvet finish of the Cinnabar lipstick. I think the two play together really well. I'm actually surprised that the gloss is a little bit deeper, and I cannot wait to just put the gloss on my lips and see how that looks like. But I think you can tell I'm absolutely in love with the undertone of this lipstick, which is also what I expected. Hi, hello, it's another day, and I decided that maybe I would like to try another shade of the foundation to see if it will match me still pretty well. I think the shade that I used yesterday, which was Light 06, was pretty much my perfect match. But today I wanted to try the shade Light 07 with you, which is this shade, and it is described as a light with neutral tones. The shade that I used yesterday is this one, which is Light 06, and it is described as a light with golden undertones, and I think my skin is like a neutral to maybe like warm olive undertone, so I really would like to try the neutral one to see if that one will work for me as well. I will basically do exactly the same thing I did yesterday. Again, only skincare. I've applied my concealer already, and now I'm going to apply this one. The foundation has a very like creamy texture to it. It's not as liquid as, say, something like the Double Wear Nude or the Face and Body from Dior. It has like this creaminess to it, so this is maybe a little less suited for my skin tone because I can already see that I have a bit more warmth to my skin. I'm going to buff it out, and it's probably going to be okay to wear today, but when I compare to the shade I wore yesterday, which is the shade Light 06, which has these slight warm undertones, I think the one yesterday suited me perfectly. I have to say, the foundation just buffs so beautifully and it looks so gorgeous and flawless on the skin. With that said, does it perform better than my Estee Lauder Double Wear Nude or my Face and Body from Dior? I don't think so. I think those blend out really beautifully as well, and they look just as flawless on the skin. I wore the foundation yesterday for a full 12 hours and it faded really gracefully. My blush, highlight, bronzer, everything was still on my face 12 hours later, so I feel like it performs as a good luxury high-end foundation would perform. So as you can see, I've already applied the rest of my makeup. I have lined my lips, and I wanted to use the Cinnabar Lip Gloss on its own today, just to see how the color performs on its own and how it wears throughout the day. So I'm just going to apply it as it is on my bare lips without any lipstick underneath. So here's the lip gloss on its own for you. I feel like it is just a tone deeper than the lipstick, which we already established also yesterday when I applied it over top of the Cinnabar Velvet lipstick. With that said, the formula is very consistent with what I've experienced with the Affair gloss that I already have from Lisa. They feel like a very lightweight oil. They don't have that typical like lip gloss stick to them. Of course, it's a lip gloss, it's not going to last you throughout the day or through a greasy meal. With that said, the Velvet also isn't going to last you through a greasy hamburger. No lipstick will. I was a little bit surprised at how like richly pigmented and opaque this applied, because with lip glosses you never know, they look very deep in the actual tube, but then when you apply them on the lips they feel much more subtle in terms of their tone, and this is just as punchy as the lipstick but in a lip gloss form, and it still has that beautiful like ochre brown red tone. Before we part ways, I wanted to do a couple of comparison swatches for you, because pumpkin leaning reds are not something new to my collection. Browns and these kind of tones suit me very well, so I tend to have a few of those tones already in my collection, and I wanted to compare those to what I already have just to see how unique the tone from Lisa is. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch the lip gloss, the Cinnabar lip gloss, on my arm. Here you have a swatch for the Cinnabar lip gloss, and right next to that I wanted to try this lip gloss from Pat McGrath Labs. This is the shade Flash 6. Now if you just look at them like this in the packaging, you can already tell that the one from Lisa has much stronger red tones to it, whether the one from Pat has slightly more pink tones to it because of that like coppery bronze. But I wanted to swatch them side by side just to see. They are different, but also not like super different from each other. The one from Lisa has more like brown brick tones to it, and this one is a little bit of a brighter like copper color. But with that said, they're very much in the same color family and have the same feel to them. So with that, I think it's safe to say that I do not need any more lip glosses in this specific color family. And of course, the most exciting part is swatching the Velvet Cinnabar lipstick. So this gorgeous color next to a bunch of other lipsticks that I have in my collection. I think for a lot of you it might be interesting to see a swatch of this lipstick next to an iconic lipstick from MAC, which is the shade Chili. Chili is that beautiful pumpkin orange red color. I think it's a brighter color compared to Cinnabar. I think Cinnabar is deeper and has more brown, but let's just compare them like this in the bullet. Let's also swatch them next to each other. So here I'm going to swatch the gorgeous Cinnabar shade, and here you have a swatch of Chili by MAC. When you put them next to each other, you can clearly tell how much more like red and brighter in tone Chili is compared to Cinnabar. Cinnabar is just a little bit more muted, a little bit more brown and deeper. So that was an important comparison to make. The next one I think is going to be also very interesting for me, because last year I purchased what I would consider my perfect warm brown shade, and that is the NARS Audacious lipstick in the shade Deborah. And yesterday evening when I was holding them next to each other, I really couldn't tell much of a difference between the two colors. So here you have Cinnabar next to Deborah. I have a feeling they're going to be very similar to each other, with maybe the one from Lisa being just slightly more red toned compared to Deborah, which is more of your classic, warm brown shade. Yeah. So you can immediately tell that this is so much more brown compared to the shade from Lisa. The shade from Lisa is really this like beautiful mixture of orange, brown and red, whereas Deborah is more of your like classic warm brown. I've mentioned many times how much I enjoy the cream lipstick formula from H&M, and I think 2 years ago I picked up this color. It's called Cinnamon Toast, which is the absolute perfect description for this shade. It is exactly this kind of like reddish brown orange shade. So I think if there is something that would be the most similar to Cinnabar, it would be Cinnamon Toast. With that said, they're completely different textures and formulas, because of course the one from Lisa is the Velvet Matte, whereas the one from H&M is a very creamy lipstick, so it's a completely different formula, and I think because of that it also has less of a opaque pigment to it. It's still very pigmented, but not as opaque as the one from Lisa, but I think in terms of tones probably going to be the closest one. So here you have a swatch for Cinnamon Toast, and Cinnamon Toast seems to be maybe more orange compared to the one from Lisa. So the one from Lisa really has very unique undertones, even if we're talking about the same color family. And the last comparison I want to make for you is with one of my oldest lipsticks, and that is the shade Hitchhike, which is one of the comfort mattes from Urban Decay. I think this is going to have more pink tones to it, and it's going to be quite different from the one from Lisa, but I still wanted to make the comparison also just for myself to see how different they are. So here you have a swatch of Hitchhike. This one is just a little bit more pink, but yeah, they are all in the same color family. They're going to look slightly different on the lips, but with that said, if you were, curious whether the lipstick from Lisa is really so unique amongst these kind of tones of lipstick that are already available on the market, then I can pretty much guarantee you that what you're getting with Velvet Cinnabar would be a pretty unique tone of your typical fall red, brown, orange shade. So to quickly wrap my thoughts, I think the foundation is fabulous. You can see it looks absolutely fabulous and flawless on the skin. As the day goes by, it just kind of melts and becomes one with the rest of your skin. It's almost indistinguishable. I think it's very, very generous and very smart of Lisa to be selling these samples so that people can try, and also like in these little sets, because even within the same color tone, like light or light medium or light with cool tones, there is still enough variation for you to be like, should I pick this shade or that shade? And I think it's very smart of her to sell these little packs so that you can really try the different tones and decide which one the perfect one is for you before she has even released the foundation. I don't know when the foundation is coming. I don't think she has announced that yet, but it is just so smart that she's giving us enough time to find our perfect shade, to test the formula, and only then purchase the foundation. And I can tell you for a fact that when she releases the foundation, I am absolutely going to pick up, I think, the shade 06, which is the light with yellow tones, because I feel like it fit me absolutely perfectly. I'm very pleased that you can wear the foundation in with a lighter hand, because I don't like heavy foundations, and this is definitely more like the medium coverage, so it's very nice to see that you can sheer it out to have a more light to medium coverage, and I'm sure you can probably build it up to have more full coverage. I just don't like to wear my foundations like this. In terms of the lipstick and the gloss, the color of Cinnabar is something very unique, I feel like, on the market. So even if you have a large lipstick collection, I don't think you're going to be repeating yourself. The lipstick is very consistent with what we have seen from her velvets before. It is this luscious, beautiful, but lightweight formula on your lips. It is a gorgeous color. It lasts really well throughout the day. You can kind of work it into your lips to wear more like a stain, or you can build it to full opacity. The lip gloss, like I said already yesterday, is just slightly deeper compared to the tone of the lipstick, but I think that's nice because it just gives you this possibility to play around with the tones and just bring the lipstick to be a little bit darker, or wear it on its own if you want it to be a bit lighter, or you can wear the gloss on its own. And her glosses are really comfortable, very lightweight. I know a lot of you have picked up a bunch of things from this release as well. Let me know what you have already tried, what your favorite is. Am I missing out on another shade that I should have picked up with this release? As usual, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or you would like to see some further comparisons, let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!